Hello everyone, my name is Hectic and welcome back to another GTA video. Today I'm going over the best properties to buy in order of importance in GTA Online. Now, I might have to redo this as far as the way that I'm recording this, and especially with the footage, because I have some ideas, but that's going to take a little bit more time. If you were confused by what I said there, don't worry about that. Yeah. So properties, what I mean by that is basically, and this is specifically properties that will make you money, but I don't consider businesses. And most of these are going to be heist properties. Yes. So the first one that we're starting off, and this is in order of importance, we're going to go from most important to least important. Listen to that. Yes, the first one you're gonna want to get is the Kasaka submarine. This is going to cost you about $2.2 million, but it is worth getting. Pretty expensive investment if you want to get like sonar station, guided missiles, weapon workshop. If you want to get the Sparrow, which most people recommend getting, I don't have this yet, $1.8 million. You could tell this is going to be expensive. But the main reason why you're going to get this, and probably the sole reason why you want to get this, and the only way you really make money from it, is this right here, the Coyo Perico Heist. The best solo heist, well actually the only solo heist in GTA Online, and the best money making method so far in GTA Online. Yes, it's actually really not that difficult even as a beginner. Yeah, the only problem would be is like the strategy and just your aim within that, because you kind of have to do this mission stealth, otherwise you're gonna mess up some things. As a beginner, some skilled people can alert the guards on this and be fine. So let me explain the Coyo Perico heist a little bit. Yes, you're going to be robbed from somebody who lives not in Los Santos, on an offshore paradise island called Coyo Perico. The man you're robbing from is El Rubio, supposedly one of the richest men to ever live in GTA Online. Please don't quote me on that, because I might have said a false statement there. So you're going to do a scope out mission, which you have to do for the Diamond Casino heist. You also have to do this for this mission as well. Scope out mission, not too difficult. Make sure you know how to fly a plane before you do this. If not, get a friend to do that. I recently learned how to fly a plane, so I can do this by myself best. Then you go onto the island, avoiding guards and scoping out your points of interest. Main things that you're going to want to get, you can get a variety of primary targets, which will be either tequila for about $900,000. The first time that you do this heist, I believe you'll have to steal the Madrazo files for 1.1 mil. I'm not sure if that file factors into the rotation. I think they replaced that with the bearer bonds, which is what my primary target here is for this. Ruby necklace going for about 1.7-ish million. Actually, I think it's a little less than that. You can also get a pink diamond, which is one of the rarest. You can also, as I said, get bearer bonds, tequila, or you can get the very, very rare and seasonal panther statue, which costs the most money. And I think there might be one more primary target in that. And then you can scope out some secondary targets throughout this. Secondary targets are going to include your gold, painting, all of this stuff. Yes, it's recommended that you do this solo. You can't get the gold, by the way, you can't get the gold solo unless you do glitches. And I don't really recommend doing glitches. Yeah, it's almost, actually that technically does fall into the category of cheating. Yes, but you can get these secondary targets. However, this is also another heist where you don't have to get any of the secondary targets. In fact, if you're just starting out and you want to do Coyo as your main way of grinding on this, if you think you have the skill set for it, yeah, buy the Kasaka, do Coyo, Perico, Heist, and you'll probably get rid very, very quickly. You can just go in there, get the primary target, and get out of there. Yes, which I recommend is jumping off of the island and swimming away. Yeah, if you don't want to go after the secondary targets, you can. Yeah. And that's what makes it good solo. You can get some of these secondary target even when you have 4 players, which you can do this multiple players here. As you can tell, secondary target's $4.5 million. Even with 4 players and the cuts, each player is only going to get about 700K, if not even less than that. So for there being over $5.6 million in my scope out here, not being able to collect all of that is quite a bummer. Yeah, but it's very easy. The prep missions, by the way, are also pretty easy. These are just so repetitive. I'm taking a break from doing a bit of Coyo because I just don't want to. If they removed setup missions and just made some other way that you have to obtain in order to do the heist, like the scope out, and then either pay massive fees to like get supplies or whatever, I would probably be doing these a lot more. But they're not horrible. It's just I'm getting bored from doing these repetitively. You do total of 3 equipment, 3 out of 4 equipment missions plus an approach vehicle and a weapon loadout, and then you're ready to go. Heist, you could do all of that, the actual heist itself, in probably 15 minutes or less. That's probably why you're going to get the Kasaka, and you're almost guaranteed to walk away with at least $900,000. Well, actually, no. If you steal just tequila and get out, probably $800,000 at the minimum every single time. Yeah. If you just grab the primary target and get out of there, and you grab nothing else, probably not 800,000 because there's about $100,000 cut. So that's why this is going to be the most important property that you're going to get. And you can fast travel with the submarine to any of the locations you want on the map that are filled by water. Yeah, no beaching the sub. You can't land the submarine in the middle of the city without doing something. I've seen some glitches and I've seen some YouTube videos where you can do that, but not by the fast travel method. Yeah. So, and you can drive the sub, so it's pretty fun. Plus, everybody loves some submarines in GTA Alon. But Coyo, Perico, best money making method to do solo. Yes, so that's number 1. Number 2, which I'm don't want to bring out all of these. The second property that I recommend you get, and this as far as a property goes, is going to be, actually, this is what's going to surprise people the most, is a high-end apartment. Yes. And these ones are pretty cheap. Yes, these can run you about $200,000 at the low end to about 1 million-ish. I have the ones at Del Perro Heights because it's right next to my CEO office, which is also a strategic reason why you would want to get one of these. Not only for like the 10-car garage, which is a feature why many people are going to get this, but you can also start the OG heists from the apartments. Yes. Which is also probably another reason why people are going to get this. The OG heists, there are 5 of them, if I remember correctly, and they all have a different payout amount. Yes, you can't do any of them solo, but the first one that you do is the only one you can do with 2 people. The rest you have to do with 4. So, those heists are the Fleeka job, the prison break, then I believe it is the Humane Labs raid, Series A funding, and then I'm missing one. I think I just got that out of order. Prison Break. There's one other, and Pacific Standard. There we go. All right, and I believe it goes in that order. Pacific Standard's going to, at the end of that, even with the max cut, is going to pay you, I think, about $1.1 million. The reason why you would want to do these is because of the Criminal Mastermind Challenge. If you do, and there's several bonuses you can get for doing these. If you do all of these 5 heists in order, with you as the host, with the same crew, and without taking any damage, you will get some massive bonuses. You can get up to $11 million as a bonus at the end out of doing all of these. And a lot of people do the grinding for that. The Fleeka job is the easiest. That's also the one that I like doing. However, it only pays out like about $100,000. Yeah. Oof. That's what we call an oof. But I like doing that because replayability, it's super good to get. But as far as starting out on the heist, it'll get you an idea of what it is. It's fun to do, and you can do that with 2 people minimum, and it's the only heist that you can do. And like Prison Break gets you like 300,000. But so the ones that I see a lot replayed are the Humane Labs Series A funding and the Pacific Standard heists. And sometimes even Prison Break, I see a lot of people replaying those a lot. Some of them are fun, some of them are difficult. As far as what I've heard, the most difficult is going to be the Prison Break. Just doing this. But payouts aren't the greatest, but they can be fun. But if you do it in that order, which I've already jacked up my my bonus for doing that, because one, I've joined the heists before many times, and I've done some of them out of order. So I think in that case, I believe I'm not eligible for any of the bonuses. I believe, except for completing all the heists. Yeah, so make sure that you do that. You have to do that in that order to do it. They can be fun. So, and this is why this is coming in number 2. These heists can have that bonuses and have a good use. Plus, why would you also want to earn this? Unlike with the businesses, it's not about the money with these properties this time. It's going to be about what they also offer. It's a 10-car garage as well. You can have up to 5 of these, by the way, I believe. 5 or 7 high-end apartments in general. And they can all be 10-car garages each. So you have like 50 freaking car spots that you can use. And depending on the location, they can be close to your businesses. Like my CEO office is just right across the street. So a good investment to make. The heists aren't the greatest, but they can be fun. And if you do that, all of those things in that order, you get massive bonuses for doing that. But they do take time to do, and some investment. The next thing that we're going to get, we're not going to touch, by the way, on the arcade, because that actually falls, in my definition, that actually falls into the business category. Yes, because of that passive income, it makes it a business, theoretically. But I might, if you want to argue against that, fine. I will put that next. The arcade. Actually, I might put the arcade second as far as that, because the Diamond Casino Heist is one of the next best paying ones. Plus that source of income, plus the 10-car garage. It's pretty fun. So if you want to be that technical. The next one that I'm going to invest, as far as the properties go, is the facility, surprisingly. I didn't want to put it like this, but I did. And facility is good because you can start the Doomsday Heist here, which this is the planning room. Yes, these pay out pretty well. the Doomsday scenario summon and is one of the best ones that I've heard. There's about 3 of these that you can do, and they pay out pretty well. But they take up a lot of time. Some of the setups can be annoying. But that's one of the I forgot where I was going with that. That's probably not the main reason why you're going to buy the facility. The main reason why I bought the facility is because you can store armored vehicles in here. And you can also store the Avenger, which is basically just an aerial version of the MOC, Mobile Operations Center, which we're going to get into as well. You can also store that in here as well. And if I can find a location here where I have to go to get to where I need to, you can hold some of those vehicles in here too. And it's a fun one just for that, and the heist. However, just having just these only be the sole reason why you buy the facility is not really the greatest. That's why out of all of the things, I don't recommend buying. If you're going to buy anything in GTA Online, I recommend buying facility as one of the last things that you buy. And I am completely lost as to where to find the freaking open area. Two, here's also another thing against the facility. Look at all of this dead space. This is huge. The planning room's all the way over here. Okay, it's all the way over here. Look at all of this space that could have been used for something. This is where you can store your vehicles. I have the Insurgent Pickup Custom and a Dune buggy up there. And you can store the Avenger right up in here. And you can store, what is it, 7 personal cars plus 5 special? Or is that like, I forget if that's like Vehicle Warehouse that does that. But yeah, for doing that. However, so as far as the third best property to own, I'm just placing this here as far as that usefulness, plus the heist payout is fairly good too. However, I haven't done a Doomsday heist yet, and my opinion in this, just to have a property just to do a heist, especially one that costs a whole lot, is kind of pointless, because I forget about my facility like all the time, except for when I have like armored vehicles, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I can store that here in the facility. Just to give you an idea of this, and I didn't buy the one that I wanted to because I wanted this one, 2.9 million. This one cost me about 1.8. Facility really doesn't offer much except for the orbital cannon. That is an absolute menace to society. Security room where you can send mercenaries after people. Yikes, for $775,000. Sleeping quarters was actually fairly cheap. Doesn't really offer much. However, the only reason why this is third on this list is because of the Doomsday heist, quite honestly. And I will factor in a little bit of the armored vehicle storage as having a little bit of usefulness. As far as this, kind of bad actually. I just also don't like, I think they just could have filled up some of this space, like maybe make more rooms to go. Like, why is there this much dead space? I know you want to make it realistic, like maybe if you put a safe in here or some other business aspect to make the facility useful, it would be higher up. So that's the facility. It is third on this one. However, I don't like it doing it that much. The next one property, and I'm not going to switch session for this one, is going to be the Terabyte. The Terabyte property. Yes, costing about $1.3 million. You do have to buy a nightclub for that, so that's kind of expensive. Why you would want to do that, besides you can also, in a public lobby, you could do CEO crate sourcing from there, which is another way you can source crates. while you're on the move and not have to go to your office every time, which is beneficial. So you can start outside the source mission, and you can start up source missions from all the other jobs. But you can you can start up either steal supply missions or sell missions from your Terabyte, but you can't buy supplies. So for that reason, this one's a little bit down there. Now, the main reason why you're going to get that is for two reasons: to store and modify the oppressor, which you can do that. I can't show you the Terabyte, though. We're stocking cash. And to do client jobs. The client jobs mainly suck for what they do. The only one I really recommend doing, and barely at that, is diamond shopping. However, it only gets you like $32,000, so F that for doing that. Just do a security contract. It'll be faster. Because you not only have to earn all of these, you can also make this a turreted vehicle as well. You do have to get the drone station to do that. So it will require some investment. So, but Terabyte, if you want to commit to those client jobs, and do the source mission, plus hold the oppressor and modify the oppressor in there, it might be worth doing. Yes, it's a vehicle property is what I'm doing this, but it's technically a property because I can make a little bit of money from that, but it's not really a business per se. Yeah, it helps with the businesses. Next up is going to be the mobile operations center for about, what was it, 1.3 or was it $2.3 million? This one's good because you can modify vehicles in here, and you can also have one of these bays be a personal quarters if you wanted to, so you can spawn in here. But if you have a bunker, it'll just get stored in here. Vehicle and weapon workshop will take up 2 bays that you can use. This is what you have to use to upgrade your like insurgent and all of that, to weaponize them in order to store them in the facility. Which, by the way, that's another step that you have to do in order, because when you buy, like, let's say the insurgent pickup, it starts out as a Pegasus vehicle. You have to call it in, bring it to your mobile operations center, make sure that you have the bunker research unlocked for the weapon to go on there, equip that in the mobile operations center, add any upgrades you want, then drive it to your facility. Oof. For that. But for that purpose, it's good for that. It's one of the faster vehicles with it, and I think it takes way more damage than the Terabyte does, so it's pretty beefed up that. And you can also do Terabyte or MOC missions from it, which I'm going to say right now only pay like $14,000, and you can't do that solo, by the way. And it's not really worth doing from what I've heard. I don't know of anyone that does any of the MOC missions, so fat yikes as far as doing that, but you can earn money from that, I guess. So that's why that property comes in that. The next one is going to be the Avenger for the sole purpose because you can store it in the facility, and it acts as the same way the vehicle with the mobile operations center or the MOC does, but it's below that because it costs $3.4 million. Gun turret costs like 200. Weapon vehicle workshop, oh my god, that's going to cost you another like million to do. It's an expensive investment, does basically the same thing, but it's an aerial vehicle, and I forget if it has those missions just like the MOC, but expensive investment to make within that. So that's why that one's, what are we on, 5? I just forgot the order, and I don't want to go count through. I have to speed through. The next one that we're going to go through as far as property owning is going to be the casino penthouse. Yes, casino penthouse can be useful. One, it gives you access to the casino, gives you another thing that you can access for the casino heist, and you can get paid to do work from this from Miss Baker to do little work missions. You get paid about $7,500 plus up to about 5,000 casino chips, which you can use to either gamble or trade in for money. So those can stack up. It's not really great money, but don't underestimate it. And you can also do Penthouse Missions, which these will pay out about 40,000, but you do have to do these with multiple people. I think there's a bonus for doing these. However, here's why this is so far down. It's because they're so damn expensive. The cheapest one is going to cost you, the one that I have, about $1.3 to $1.5 million. You can get a 10-car garage for it for $900,000. And then all these other basically useless features, if you get all of these rented in, an extra $4.5 million. That is a lot, people. Holy crap, are you investing in this for just something to really look nice? The car garage might be nice to invest in and to do the work, and have access to the casino is nice. Now, if you're one that plays GTA just to have fun, not really caring how much money that you're really making with it, you might like the casino penthouse, and it might be worth doing for that 4.5, like almost $6 million that you had to pay for doing that. But as far as overall a property, not really the greatest and not the most important to buy. Yes, one of the least important ones. I did buy this before the Avenger on that one, and before like Facility, but just its cost alone is keeping it down there. It doesn't really offer too much. I mean, the work missions are also fairly easy. It's almost like doing a normal job with a little bit less payment. So you determine how much value you want to get out of this, but as far as importance, you don't really have to own this at all. Yeah, but it can be fun. And the last one that I'm going to put on this list, and I'm not putting the auto shop on here because that's technically actually a business. Yes, and I'm not putting the, I'm also not putting the arcade in here because that's also business, or the clubhouse on here because that's also technically a business as well. Next one, oh, it's not in this. It's in this crap. Next one, and probably, the final property that's probably going to be the waste of money. However, some people will get this for it being really, really cool, and a way to flex your wealth. But the least important property coming in last on our list is going to be the yacht. Create your own super yacht. These can cost up to anywhere between like $6 to $10 million. Yes, that's a lot of money. Yes, and it costs some money, like $25,000 to move the yacht, which is what I've heard. Although there's some ways I've heard that you can also move them for free, but we're not getting into that. That's almost more towards on the glitch side. And you can do like missions, like almost story mode-ish missions from the yacht, which they'll pay the greatest, but they'll still pay that. And you can do almost a sort of VIP work from the yacht as well, which pays about, what was it, 9,000? Or was it a bit more than that for doing that? It's fairly easy. However, you have to own the freaking yacht to do that. And your return in that is not really that great. But it's a lot. I know a lot of people have a lot of fun with it, owning it. It's just a lot of money within that cost. It doesn't really do a whole lot for what it is. And that's why it's the worst property on this list. Yes, worst property to own. on this list. I'm not counting in garages on this list either. So there you have it. You have this list. Actually, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one other one. I will put this below the I think I meant to put this above the yacht, but I think I'm going to put it below the yacht, is the Arena Workshop vehicle. I don't really know of anyone that does Arena Workshop anymore. You're probably going to get this for the car garages, which is cool. And the mechanics, it's also another expensive one. And the Arena Wars, unless you're committing to that, they'll really pay out too much. But it is one of those things that you can buy. So, actually, I am going to put that above the yacht. I forgot to add it to it. Starts out $900,000 if you want it bare bones. Yeah, but doesn't really serve any purpose except for to store vehicles and do Arena Wars stuff. So, let me know what you think of this list in the comments down below. I'm interested in seeing what your lists would be for this. My name's Hectic. See you guys in the next one.